babies' identities will be protected for the sake of their families. Sarah's question was about what would the first line and last line of my book be, which is rude of her because that is really hard to do. So obviously, we're going to review some famous first and last lines. 1. Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens, first line. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, it was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness, it was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us, we were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. Last line, which not many people would know to attribute to this. Shh. It is a far, far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. Do those words speak to you, Max? They speak to me too. Obviously, one of my personal favorites, F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. Opening line, in my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Closing line, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. And yes, I know those two from memory. Another good one, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Opening line, Lolita, light of my life, fire of my loins. It's not really appropriate for babies. And the closing line, and this is the only immortality you and I may share. My Lolita. You are not my Lolita. That's weird. Never ever say that to a baby. Okay, opening line of my book. There was a day or two after emerging from my mother's womb when I didn't know what sarcasm was. Writing the last line is a lot harder because I'm 23 years old. I shouldn't really have a last line to a book yet, especially not about my life. There's something eerie about that. I feel like if I finish it, I'm gonna jinx myself and not wake up tomorrow or something. So, last line of my book about my life, as it stands right now, would be, and I have one more important thing to say to you, colon. That is some modernist grammar there for you. Okay, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna steal someone's question from the presidential debate last night, because I think it's a funny question to ask Lena Dunham. Lena Dunham, would you please list the ways in which you're different from George W. Bush? Oh no, my baby's frozen. Help, Control-Alt-Delete.